crowded living conditions, and pollution made many city neighborhoods unattractive and unhealthy living environments. Moreover, our environmental laws were lax, and factories were often located next to residential neighborhoods. This further contributed to the push of middle class families out of the city. In contrast, the suburbs promised cleaner, cooler air and open spaces. While families may have wanted to move out of the city for decades, it was the rising incomes that occurred during and after World War II that made such a move possible. During the war, the economy reached full employment. Men and women alike went to work to support the war effort. Due to wartime rationing, there were few consumer goods and few things for families to spend money on, so their savings accumulated. By the time the war ended, families had savings to spend on housing as well as other consumer goods. From 1940 to 1960, disposable family income increased by more than 50%. Disposable income is the money a household has to spend after they pay their taxes. Families not only had money to spend on housing, but they had income to buy automobiles. Automobile ownership expanded the distance that individuals could live from their place of work, so that automobile ownership meant that a family could live in the suburbs and commute downtown to their place of work. With rising incomes, families also spent money on automobiles. During the war, men and women had delayed marriage and child rearing due to the war. And so after the war, a rising marriage and birth rate also contributed to the demand for new housing. Aside from rising incomes, rising automobile ownership, and the increase in marriages and birth rates, there were also several federal initiatives that encouraged the middle class to leave the central cities. A first program was the Federal Highway Act. The Federal Highway Act put a tax on gasoline so that every time anyone buys a gallon of gasoline, they pay a tax. that tax was allocated to new road building, so that there was a huge pool of money to build new roads.